Hey out there, this is Repliforce, and we're back. Welcome to another edition of Nostalgia Talk. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with Alex.
Hey.
And Will.
Hey.
And today's topic is the Super Smash Bros. Series. So, we're going to start with Super Smash Bros. 64. Will, what do you have to say about Smash 64? When was that released?
Well, I guess just to get the date out of the way, it was released on April 26th, 1999. Not that really means anything to me because I was pretty young at that point. And actually, when it released, I didn't have a Nintendo 64, and I continued not having a Nintendo 64. Never got one, so I kind of actually missed out on the very first entry in the series. I actually only ever really found out about the old one later on because of getting and playing newer ones.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I was actually really excited for its release because we did have a Nintendo 64 at the time. We owned pretty much all the Nintendo consoles, so yeah, Smash 64. I remember the first time I ever saw like anything about the game was at a KB Toys at a mall, which is so weird to say, but yeah, because that store's been gone for a long time. But yeah, it was like one of those, I think they still do it nowadays at like GameStop where you have kind of the placeholder box and it's like, coming soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first time I ever saw it, and it was just like so crazy because I had no idea that there was going to be a game that put, several Nintendo characters in one game.
Yeah, I feel like the idea was so original, and the whole mechanic behind it, the percentage and knocking people off the stage.
Yeah.
It was just, it never had been done before, so I give them a thumbs up for originality. My experience with the game originally was at a Toys R Us, and I saw the demo for the game, and I was freaking out. I wanted to use Fox, but the only characters you could use was Mario or DK. So I was DK, and that was not a very good experience in the Mario Smash 64 version. But yeah,
You would pick the cheapest character in that game. Infinite grab combo.
I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. But,
I only ever played Smash 64 at like parties where people had it out for like, hey, nostalgia reasons. So it was only later that I actually got to try it. And at that point, I was like, why would I play this? I got the new ones, but it's still good in its own right.
Yeah. It's definitely good for the time it came out. So,
Oh, yeah.
I actually think it was, I don't know. I would say it was almost a little bit ahead of its time because back when it first came out, there was really no 4-player fighting games out there. So, and I mean, you still don't. Well, fighting games, though, not like a karting game.
But they already had established that 4 players, 4 people on a system thing, and that was the perfect idea to go with Smash Bros.
But yeah, we played it a ton with kids from our neighborhood, like all the time, because we were the only people who owned Smash Brothers on N64. In our whole street, so they'd always want to come over and play, and yeah, it was just a ton of fun. So
yeah, it was more fun than GoldenEye, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I never even played GoldenEye as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't play it either, so
I did one time at a neighbor's house.
Chris. Well.
Chris
Gosh, yeah.
It was GameCube.
So,
It was, for me, it was GameCube that really brought me back to Nintendo. Because around the time that you guys are talking about, I think I was like on the PlayStation 1 doing things there, like Mega Man Legends and stuff. But it was the GameCube that brought me back to Nintendo. And really, from that point on, I kind of stuck with them. And GameCube brought about the next iteration of Smash, which was freaking awesome. I think it's called Smash Bros. Melee? Melee? Melee?
My memory could be fuzzy, but I think it released on December 3rd of 2001, which is almost 14 years ago.
Wow.
So did you guys get it on launch?
We got it very soon after launch. We actually got it from our late grandpa now, and
it was the last gift he ever got us.
Yeah, actually it was.
Oh, wow.
And the only good gift he ever got.
And not because he just stopped caring about us, it's because he passed away.
Yeah, but we got it.
I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Well, All right, I won't talk about my grandpa. Anyways, he got it for us on Christmas. It was actually a big surprise because our parents knew we wanted a lot, and we already got our gifts from our parents at that point.
that morning we opened up our presents,
Yeah.
and I was opening up the game. I thought it was just for me. Smash Bros. Was just for me. Man, turned out it was Batman Vengeance, and I was so ticked off. I'm like, this was Smash Brothers. What the heck? I was they saw the look on my face, and from smile to frown, so quick.
This isn't Smash Brothers.
Just throw it around.
But we were all very surprised because we actually went to his house the same day as Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is probably where our parents kind of made sure that we go there on that day because I guess they knew we'd be mad. They didn't. They didn't
We need to get them there fast.
We weren't spoiled at all.
Yeah. So we had it really soon after its initial release, and it was awesome. Like, we couldn't wait to get home to play it that day, and my God, it was worth the couple-hour wait. And actually, well, I guess like the 2-week wait to actually play the game. But
yeah, I wanted to get it the day it came out. My parents were like, "Oh, just wait till Christmas. Wait till Christmas."
Yeah.
So we rented it. I played it on one for a long time. So
I don't remember what that's like, waiting for a game, because now as an adult, it's like, I want this. I bought this. There's no such thing as waiting.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true indeed. So how about like you guys? What did you think of all the changes? Because the changes from the Smash 64, like I know Will, you didn't play that when it first came out, but like for me and Ryan, I know me personally, the change from 64 to Melee was so huge. Like they added so many new game mechanics, a lot of more moves that you could do, and it really did feel like a completely just new experience compared to the original one.
Yeah, so fast paced when you got used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I got the GameCube, and for a while, my only game was Metroid Prime, and then I actually used the back of the GameCube box to see what other games were out, because I don't know, I think I probably still had dial-up internet at that point, but yeah, I looked at the back of the game box. I was like, Smash Bros. Melee, what is that? It's on the top recommended, so I guess I'll go get this. I needed some more games because my birthday was in November. I got my GameCube. I bought my GameCube with my birthday money and stuff. And so, like, my birthday's pretty close to Christmas, so I was like, okay, well, I can just put some games on my Christmas list. And Smash Brothers, and I think F-Zero GX and some other stuff was on there. So I ended up getting Smash like pretty soon after I got the GameCube. And to me, it was the first one in the series to me, because I'd never played the other one. And it was kind of one of those games that I like played on the side of other games, just because you could easily like turn it on and just play it for a couple hours, play it for 15 minutes, do some random stuff, unlock some characters and stages. So yeah, it was entirely new to me.
Yeah.
I think when
the adventure mode.
Yeah, the adventure mode was really cool.
It's unlike anything I've seen in a Smash Brothers game since.
I think where it really kicked off though was like when I started talking other people into getting Melee and playing with them, because then that pretty much gives it unlimited replay value. Because I don't know, I can only play against computers so much before it gets kind of repetitive. So yeah, back then I was playing with like I hadn't met you guys yet, because this was like middle school, but I played with Scott and my other friend Brian, and like that game it makes you take it seriously for some reason. I don't know what it was. It was like you just want to win. Like you could play it for fun, but you still wanted to win.
Right. You know, I actually agree with that, because when I remember playing Smash 64 as a kid, I never remember caring that much about winning. It was all just like, you know, let's just have fun. And, you know, like when we played with our friends from the neighborhood a lot, like nobody was really always like getting real, like, you know, going into rage mode and stuff like that.
You just play it. Yeah.
Yeah. 64 you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
We got in rage mode a few times from Josh, where he would just constantly throw with Mario.
Well, that's when we didn't know how to throw, though. That's why we were mad.
Oh.
'Cause just real quick about Smash 64. Our brother figured out how to throw, and he wouldn't tell us how to do it.
Look, Mario has the best throw in that game, hands down. If you ask me, I mean, that's the way I remember.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, back then you thought he did, but actually, DK is broken in that game. Anyways, but like when it went to Melee, like we all cared about winning. Like we'd always get mad at each other, you know, like especially even more so when we were younger, just because like, you know,
you're at that age where it's pride, you know.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm the best one at this game. I mean, here's the thing though. Within like my other little group of friends, Scott and Brian, like I was king of that game. Like. Scott was the best at Dead or Alive, and Brian was the best at like GoldenEye and Turok. I was terrible at both of those, but when it came to Smash, I just whooped face, so I felt super good about it. And then I met you guys.
Yep, you met the people who played the game too much.
The way it is with me, with Melee, it's like me and Alex and Josh, you know, we're growing up, 3 guys close in age. We're going to have, we're going to punch each other. We're going to hit each other sometimes, and we're mad at each other.
Yeah, you guys
in
have
that
a
game, I was able to
partner.
constantly kick and punch them in that game. And whenever they kicked and punched me more than I kicked and punched them, then I felt like, you know, that was an insult to me, and it's like, it hurts your pride, but it's like, I don't know. They do something you don't like. It's like they're being a character you don't like, or they're doing something with a character you hate, and you want to punish them by doing, you know, beating them and knocking them off the stage. But I don't know. I guess I did take it a little bit too seriously.
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, guy, you're talking about like getting insulted. And...
Hey, when he punches and kicked me, I took it a personal insult.
But yeah, I think one of the best things about Melee, though, which still has yet to be replicated from the newer games, which I think is probably due to the internet, really. But we had no idea who the unlockable characters were going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I remember talking to all my friends at school who had the game, and I actually had this one friend who'd lie to me all the time about these characters. Like you said, Toad was in the game. He said Sonic was unlockable. Same with Ridley. And like, I remember a specific thing he told me to do to unlock Toad. He's like, you have to play as Pichu and Mewtwo, and you both have to have like, I think it was like 50 stocks. And he's like, and you have to do 5 matches of 50 stocks with them. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's a really weird, specific way to unlock a character. But I did it that night when I got home. Like, I got home from school, did my homework, and then that night I did that. And I came to school the next day. Okay, I came to school the next day, and I told him that it didn't work. And he'd always act like he didn't know what I was talking about. And it was just like, you know what? And he actually was one of those people, for real. He told me his dad worked at Nintendo. And I bet you he didn't work at Nintendo.
Yeah, but I might put money on that.
Yeah, no, there's no way. But yeah, there was that big mystery. I do remember
that, though, because like, I was just playing the game, and then all of a sudden it said a challenger approaches, and it was Marth, and I was like, who is this? What is this? I had zero idea that character was even in the game, let alone that, you know, you could play as this random character. Right. And I actually thought it was Martha at first, because
yeah, me too.
Seriously, like when you've never heard that name before, and it comes on the screen, I'm like, Martha. But actually, just side note, those 2 Fire Emblem characters are actually what got me into the Fire Emblem series, which kind of cool. But
same here too.
Same
actually.
for us.
Yeah,
it worked. Their strategy.
It did work. Yeah,
it was just a great, pleasant surprise though when you finally unlock Marth. It's like, what?
I was actually really surprised when, like, I was surprised with Marth as well and Roy, but I was surprised with Falco too, because again, I had no idea he was going to be in the game. I thought Fox was just going to be the only Star Fox character in it.
Right.
So when we unlocked Falco, I thought that was awesome. Same with Young Link. Ganondorf was a big surprise because we got him from event mode. Yeah, like you do that event with Ganondorf, and it's like, wait, what? Ganondorf? He's in this game?
So I think the bigger surprise for me with Ganondorf was he had exactly the same moves as Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
And the bigger surprise, even bigger than that, was that Marth had a counter move. It was the first counter in the Smash series. It's only the second game, but still, it takes a while to unlock them.
Yeah, but it's completely useless because of the law of counters.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you counter, they will miss.
Yep. And if
I see.
yeah.
So,
I remember.
who were your mains in Melee? Because that's where it started becoming important, right?
Yeah,
like picking a main,
it really
like that's
did.
a phrase that all Smashers understand. Like,
Yeah.
just hey, who's your main? Everyone knows what that means.
For me, it was Link, and then when we unlocked Young Link, I had to like switch between those two, and I stayed like that for the longest time. Like up until we started playing with you, I always used Link and Young Link, and then I remember specifically we were playing with you in double matches because we don't almost always do team matches.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try Sheik because I'd like use Sheik very rarely. But then I used him in like a team match that we were doing, and I really liked Sheik. I did really good in the match, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start using Sheik a lot. And Peach was another one that I used quite a bit, but I don't think she ever really reached like being my actual main in that game.
Did Josh use Peach a lot too?
He used
he'd
Samus
use her
all
every
the time.
now and then, but yeah, he was pretty much always Samus. So.
Oh, yeah, I just remember his shoulder dash, like, constant.
Yeah, that's like all he do.
Yeah.
So quick. And my main, of course, was Fox.
Yep.
Yes,
And-
of course, we remember that. And
Day
you remember,
one,
you know what? You know
just
what's funny?
Fox.
I think I'll bring this up here.
No.
I remember everyone saying Fox is cheap back then.
Yep.
Like, even though we didn't know he was the best character in the game, we somehow figured it out on our own that Fox was cheap. And, you know, like nowadays, everyone's aware of it that Fox is like god tier in Smash Melee.
Mm-hmm.
We just
I
knew.
disagree. I'm going to disagree with everybody. No. I'm just-
Yeah.
It's a
The
fact.
game's been out for 14 years. I think that people have figured out who's the best
Yeah.
character by now.
It's still up in the air. No, for me it was Marth, and I don't even remember why. I think when I unlocked him, I was like, awesome, cool sword dude. And then, you know, like I just thought that he was really cool because his entire moveset was based around a sword, and you know, when you're like a little teenage boy, it's like swords. So
Yeah.
so I picked Marth, and actually funny too, he turned out to be pretty high tier as well. So
Yeah, and actually, it turned out to be Fox's weakness. Am I correct?
It's considered by some to be Fox's weakness, but Fox is still way better than Marth. I mean, Fox is just... You might say he's top tier, like the number one tier, but that's like 5 levels above tier 2, you know? Or the second character on the tier list is what I should say.
Right.
Not tier 2. But yeah, Fox is just way too good.
Well, I remember-
Falco is also really good, so
Yeah.
they're both pretty cheap.
I just remember one time all three of us were playing Smash Melee, and I secretly set up the camera to record a few matches of us playing with Will at our house. And because I knew people would get bent out of shape because, you know, that's just the way things go.
Yep.
And it was just hilarious when we finally told Will we were recording him and played it back that same day, and we just had the greatest time laughing about it.
We were all raging.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you get possessed or something. It's like,
And there's
if
so
you
many
watch
times-
if you watch a video of the things you do and say, you're like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. But like in
Yeah,
the moment, you're like, this is this is important.
Well, and you're like, I didn't press that, and of course you did.
Yeah, and the funny thing is when you get video of it, you see that you actually did press that button.
Yeah.
So,
But that was our favorite excuse. Like, oh my controller must be messing up.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly suck at this game.
yeah. The game pressed that button on its own.
I just remember when we got the game pretty early on, even in Smash 64 a little bit. Sometimes after a match and I'd lose, I'd want to like I want to punch my brother. When you're sitting right next to me, I feel like I'm about to punch him in real life. You know? It's just so intense, and you can get so into it.
Yep. So, anyways, yeah, we all like Melee, and it was definitely a big game, part of our childhood for all of us, I believe.
I think we all still play it to this day, so that's saying something.
Yeah, I haven't played it like in almost a year now, but you know, it's still a good game.
Smash 4 is totally spoiling me with the controls. It's so hard to dash down for me in Melee. It's
The game, I don't know, the game just feels kind of clunky. If we're talking about how well the game is aged, you know, I don't think it's aged particularly well, but it's still a good game, and you know, I have a ton of nostalgia too.
It's aged better than 64. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, hell, I'd say it's even aged better than Brawl, which came out on March 9, 2008. Unfortunately, So there was a lot of hype building. Okay, do you guys remember us three? E3
sure.
2000. What was it?
Six.
Was it 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, whenever it was, whatever year that was, we were so hyped. We watched that trailer to the game. Remember when we all sat around the computer?
Yeah,
and we had slow internet, and we loaded up that trailer, and it was like, let's watch it again. So we'd have to let it load again.
Well, no. It was taking so long to load the whole video, so we just start from the beginning, go forward a little bit, start from the beginning, go forward a little bit more.
Yeah, I remember
that. Yep. And we were so excited for it.
And then when it got to Zero Suit Samus, I thought she was totally naked. She shot her giant laser.
I remember when it got to that part, Will was like, Samus is hot or something. Like he said something along those lines.
Oh god.
But man, we were so excited.
Yeah, I was
and,
like, yes,
and we were constantly excited. We were like, man, can't wait for Brawl, can't wait for Brawl, can't wait for Brawl.
Every time I came over to your house, we would go look at the Smash Bros. Dojo. And just talk about all the updates and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And who else we thought would be in the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then it actually came out.
We saw a list made a long time ago before Brawl was even announced, and it was like Super Smash Bros. 3 character list. It had like 150 characters on it.
There was a lot. There was so much speculation about the next, iteration. Because people loved Melee so much. It was like, when are we gonna get a new one?
Yeah, but ultimately, we were let down.
Yeah. None of us really liked the game. I remember the first time we actually. Well, I'll start a little bit sooner. We actually went to the midnight release for Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yeah.
And there was a tournament. Now, for the tournament, everybody had random characters. I had Samus, okay?
No,
Samus.
you had Peach.
No, I had Samus. I had Peach in the second part of the tournament.
Oh, it was random again?
Yeah, it was random twice in a row. There was 2 tournaments. One of the tournaments actually mattered. Whoever won the first tournament would go on forward.
Wow, that's right.
In the first tournament, I had Samus, who was one of the worst characters in Brawl. I'd say right next to Yoshi, they're at the very bottom. They're both terrible characters, but yeah, I had bad luck. I got Samus. I lost first round, I believe.
Yeah.
But Ryan, I believe you have something to say.
Well, I had King DDD as my random character in the round that mattered, in the tournament that mattered. And I went on to win the whole thing with a character I never used before, and it was hilarious. Because in the first round of the tournament that I was King DDD, I was pit up against Will. So.
I don't even remember what character I was. I must have blocked it from.
I know what character Will was.
I know who he was.
Well, who was he, Alex?
He was Marth.
He was Marth.
But again, Marth is also really terrible.
Was trash
in
that game.
Yep. Yeah. Marth was trash.
Of
Samus
course,
was trash.
Somebody who made Marth and really likes Brawl probably would disagree.
And you know what? I'll bring up something just real quick about Brawl. Since I just said Samus is trash, he just said Marth is trash. And you know what? Almost every single character in Brawl felt like trash. In fact, especially characters that were good in Melee. Like, Sheik was my main in Melee, like, towards the end, and still is when I play the game. She's terrible in Brawl. Like, it felt like everybody that you used to like in Melee, sorry, we made them crap.
Yeah.
So, but I think...
So I'm justified in losing that match, because I was trying to play Brawl Marth like I played Melee Marth, because that's what I was expecting. You, on the other hand, had no preconceived notions about what DDD was, so all you had to do is swing your hammer.
Well, in all honesty, the day of the tournament, we joined it pretty late, like last minute, and right before we went to GameStop to join it, I looked up videos online of people playing like the E3 demo. I saw a lot of them before, but I saw how some people were using King DDD with his chain grab, and I used that in the tournament.
You little cheapo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's okay. That tournament doesn't count.
So every character seemed like a step down, probably just because the overall speed of the game went so down, and it was so lame. The first time I played it, when we brought it home the day we bought it, it was the first time I ever got to use Fox, and I was so disappointed. He was so different and so slow, and I lost.
Yeah,
and you lost.
The game, like when you first at the tournament, I think I didn't notice because you've got the nerves from like trying to win and like just the competitiveness. But once we got it home, like brought it home, and we're like trying to play it, it was like, what's going on? I can't do what I used to do with my combos and like follow-ups and all that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Right.
but the funny thing is, some Subspace Emissary, I did play that a lot, and I just remember one of the most frustrating moments of my gaming life where I was like sitting in my room in the basement trying to get through the Subspace Emissary, and it was this one point in the game where it was just unnecessarily tedious, and like enemies kept spawning, and they were really annoying enemies, and they would just like bump me into the spikes. I like literally screamed so loud and like threw my GameCube controller on the floor, and then like I heard my mom like yell down the stairs like, "Are you okay?"
Well,
It was
Alex, you
that
have something to say
bad.
about it. Go ahead, say your
Yeah,
thing.
so I remember the first time, like the first day that we actually started playing the game. We actually beat the Subspace Emissary. I think like in one full day.
Took 11
And,
hours.
Yeah, it took 11 hours. And I thought it was good. And I think the reason I thought it was good at that time was just because, you know, the game just came out. I was at a younger age back then where I wasn't as critical of things as I am now. And but I actually played it. I played through it a second time, I think like 2 years ago, because we lost all of our Brawl data when switching over to the Wii U.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I mean, the data is on the Wii U, but you can't play the Wii U with a GameCube controller, obviously. So I put it in the Wii and played through Subspace again, and it was terrible. Like, I can't believe I used to tolerate that, because I actually know what you're talking about, Will. There's some tedious moments where the enemies are just obnoxious, but on top of that, there's at the very end of the game, you have this thing called the Great Maze, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
And guess what it is? You essentially have to play through the game a whole nother time to beat the game. Because all it is reused stages.
Yep.
All of them, like all over the place. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so bad designed, and it's hilarious to think that I think Sakurai said himself that a lot of the Brawl delays were because of that mode. And
That is just unfortunate.
yeah, and it's just like,
Yeah, I mean, it turned out that bad, and it took them that long.
yeah, it
to
took
develop.
them.
That's
They put a lot of time into that, and it's just like, it doesn't even look like
I
it.
just
It
wonder
just looked
if,
like
95% of the time they put into it was making those cutscene story videos.
yeah,
Such
yeah.
a great story, and
Yeah, it's pretty terrible, really.
I mean,
and-
I liked the cutscenes. That was part of the hype too. Seeing those videos.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the cutscenes are kind of cool, but honestly, when you look back at the cutscenes now, they look like really low budget, like super, just really low quality.
480p.
Which is
Yeah.
why when they announced that the Subspace stuff was being cut from Smash 4, I was perfectly
I was-
fine with it.
I was actually happy. It's like,
I was
okay,
too.
good.
I'm like, good. I don't have to play this crap.
I
Yeah.
mean, when I heard that, I always thought, oh, good. Well, they'll put some mode in there to replace that, like an adventure mode or something.
Yeah.
But,
Honestly, I'm perfectly fine with just like the way that classic mode is now, like in the newer ones. I actually think it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer it. It's better than Taboo, like the flying blue butterfly guy, and at least like Master Core, that's like a cool boss fight,
Yeah.
which. Well, we're not talking about Smash 4 right now, but
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about Smash 4.
Yeah,
Oh, one more thing about Brawl.
as quickly as
yeah,
possible.
we gotta end the Brawl
Yeah,
talk.
well, I
the last
do-
thing I want to bring up is the online
Oh,
capability
God, yeah,
of
the
Brawl.
online
It
was
was the
terrible.
worst online experience I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Worse than Windows 98.
It's slower than Windows 98.
Well, I guess we could all say our mains real quick, and then I actually have one more
Oh, yeah.
thing to say.
Oh,
But
okay.
who was your main out of all the terrible characters in Brawl? What was the character that you used the most? How about you, Will?
It was Lucas, and I don't know why. It seemed like because of the floaty nature of that game, Lucas was okay. Like Marth did not do well with floaty mechanics, and his B move was trash.
Yeah.
So I stuck with Lucas. I actually did like PK Freeze. It was just kind of fun, but I mean, I didn't
liked
really
Lucas.
play it that much, so I can't really, say that I put a lot of time into him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Of course, my main, you can guess, was Fox. I got used to him, and I missed the Melee Fox.
Sorry.
And I know it sounds boring, but I'm a big Star Fox fan.
All right. Well, my name was Sonic. I remember one of the reasons I was so excited for Brawl is because Sonic was finally gonna be a character.
Yep.
And that was also the reason that I wanted to beat Subspace Emissary, was because I wanted to play as Sonic. But we didn't really play Brawl that much. Like, when I think about Brawl and my mains in the game, it's like, well, we didn't really play it for that long before we're like, alright, we're done playing it.
Back to Melee.
Like, yeah, we went back to Melee, and not even just that, but I just didn't play Smash Brothers for a long time. Like, it was a while before we even came back to Melee.
Yeah,
And
it actually kind of killed it for me.
yeah,
Because, like,
and
it seemed like at the time, when Brawl came out, it's like, okay, well, now I can't play Melee, but nobody plays Brawl, so I'm done with Smash for now.
yep.
Yeah,
And
well, I remember one time we went to your house, Will, and I think we stayed the night. We were playing Brawl, and we're like, let's just switch to Melee, see, how it's like, and what it's like. And then the rest of the night we played Melee.
Yep.
We're like, I'm never going back to Brawl again because it's so much faster.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was so much better.
Ah.
That's
But
the story
actually,
of many people's lives, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Brawl was the last game that for the Nintendo Wii that I ever got excited for. I guess because I was disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Because that was literally the point. Because up until then, I was like, man, Xbox sucks. PlayStation, I don't want a PlayStation 3. It costs too much. But that was around the time where I really was like, after I gave up on Brawl, it was like, I'm done with the Wii. Like, I started playing the 360 a lot, like a ton.
Yeah.
Like, all the games I'd buy, it was always 360 games because the Wii didn't satisfy me. It was like every series that saw its release on Wii, it was like, like not all the games. There were good games on the Wii.
I think Mario Galaxy 2 came out after that, didn't it?
Yeah. That came out 2010 actually. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I only remember because I was graduating high school at that point.
Oh.
And I actually wasn't excited for that game either. But when I bought it and played it, I was like, okay, this is amazing. So
What else came after Brawl?
I mean, Skyward
Wii.
Sword, I
Yeah,
was
that's
excited
all
for that.
yeah,
But
yeah. Okay.
anyways,
That's about
but
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring up that Brawl was kind of like what killed the Wii for me.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
like, okay, this game is
It was a
So-
big buzzkill, that's for sure.
Yep.
Like, and I went to college. I graduated high school in 2008, and then that fall I went to college. I was actually kind of expecting, I'm gonna be on a college campus. There's gonna be people playing Smash Brothers Brawl.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
There weren't.
Yep.
So
Understandable.
womp womp.
Anyways, there was a good mod for Brawl that made it like Melee, and it was called Project M, and it was actually made by the Smash Brothers community, a team of a few people, I believe. And basically it uses a exploit within the stage builder of Brawl to put a mod into the game, which basically just gave the game melee mechanics. They changed some of the characters' moves. It was actually a pretty fun mod.
That's really
pretty
impressive too, to be able to do that. So
Yeah.
shout outs
Yeah, it
to
was-
the Project M guys for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it tried so hard to be just like Melee, but it didn't actually.
I mean, what can you
that
do?
feat.
It's
hard,
like people doing this in their spare time
Right.
and they don't have the full set of tools available to them. It's like they're hacking it essentially. So
Yep.
pretty
Yeah, it is
good
impressive.
considering.
And honestly, that is another thing that really got me back into Melee again as well, because around that time we didn't play a lot of Smash Brothers, and then I saw that mod, and I downloaded it, and we played it, and then Ryan was like, well, this is kind of fun, but then he wanted to play Melee instead, so we did play Melee more than Project M, but it was fun. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyways,